Hey there, this is Jackie Bro.
And I'm Dunlap, and we got some great sponsors on today's Red State Update podcast.
Boy, we sure do. I tell you, I'm bringing a sponsor back, had them on here. Sales going through the roof. I can't keep it in stock. It's going so fast. And this week, we're getting a whole new shipload, and I tell you what, we're getting some extra new things for you. You're going to love this. My sponsor is hose water, delicious hose water. Tastes just like water coming out of your hose back when you was a little boy. Your daddy watering the garden, and you get thirsty and go get a drink of that hose water. It tastes just like that. And, of course, now we got some new, delicious flavors of hose water for you. There's hose water, of course, original, green hose. Then there's new black hose water. And then there's new Energy Plus for when you're on the go. So that's delicious hose water. One sip keeps it simple, takes you back to simpler times. Delicious hose water. Thank you. Yeah, that's our sponsor.
Energy Plus.
Energy Plus hose water. Yeah, that's one of the new. There's black hose and then Energy Plus. Yeah.
Does black hose taste different than green hose?
It tastes like the black hose. If you had a green hose, had a flavor to it. Black hose had a flavor to it. I seen both kind of hoses.
What's the flavor of Energy Plus?
You just have to come in the store and get it next week and find out.
I ain't gonna drink it.
Well, why'd you bring it up then?
Well, I just wanted to ask.
All right.
A question. It's my right
There
as an
ain't no
American.
reason to ask questions every time I do a damn sponsor. Just let me do the sponsors, and then you do yours, and then that's it.
I saw some of them McElroy boys after last week's podcast.
Well,
I thought they'd be mad at me.
yeah.
They said any publicity is good publicity.
Well,
They didn't say this, but I took it as they gave me permission to run their product down every week. Like we have this, this hilarious repartee we have where you say, this is my sponsor, whatever, some backwards, old-fashioned bullshit. And I say, or some confusing nonsense, and I call you out on it and say, hey, wait a minute. What are you trying to pull over on the people?
I ain't trying to.
You sit over there and cuss and holler and act belligerent and like an insane person, basically. And then I, have the situation well in hand, and everybody at home chuckles when I put you in your place.
All right. That ain't no such a thing. I'm just trying to do the sponsor, and that's it.
And
don't
the
say nothing.
McElroy boys said, we didn't appreciate you saying that we was all stupid and we all failed every grade. But then they looked at, and that's when I thought, run. But they said, but we thought about it. We did fail every grade. But this hose water is going to make us all millionaires. And then we thought about your pathetic life.
Hey.
No, not yours, mine.
Well, yeah.
And they said it didn't really matter what I say on my dumb podcast that nobody listens to because nobody cares about me. But they said if they get an extra 50 sales off this podcast, they'll consider it worth it. And what they'll do, they said that they may take that, say that the profit margin is high. So if they sell 50 bottles of hose water, they're basically making $48, they said. And they said what they may do is every week after they sponsor the podcast, just take $50 and wipe their ass with it and say,
all right,
that's what we think of you, Dunlap.
I know McElroy boy's not. It depends on which one's talking to you. It would talk like that.
Yeah.
It's a good, fine product. All right, but you don't.
Rio McElroy, the father, he's a pretty good old boy.
I known Rio McElroy all my life. He's a good man, and I'm sure if he knows his boys are talking like that, he'll have a word with them or two.
He wouldn't say wipe your ass. He'd say clean yourself or something.
All right, enough. If they don't care if you run them down, I still do. I don't want to hear it. It's delicious hose water, green hose, original green hose flavor. Black hose, brand new, and Energy Plus for people on the go.
Was it got like vitamins in it or something?
I don't
Chlorine.
If you talking so much with the McElroy boys, they should have done told you this.
Listen,
since they're your new best friends,
well, I would
ask
say,
them. Don't ask me.
Even after they started talking to me like they wasn't gonna beat my ass, they put me at ease just enough to know that I didn't have to run away right then. But I was surrounded because there's like 14 of them.
There's a bunch of them, yeah.
And I knew that if I said anything other than yes, sir, like one of them would stick their leg out behind me, another one would shove me, and I'd be down on the ground, and then they'd be punching my teeth down my throat.
Well, you've been
so
asking
they
for
left
it.
an air of threatening. They let that linger. But they said I could. Basically, they said I could say whatever I wanted to because I'm nothing to them, and I'll always be nothing.
Well,
and they're going to be rich on the hose water empire.
Well, it's selling out. I know that much. I can't keep it on the shelves in the store. Everybody coming in wants some of that hose water. People work hard around here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and you come in after a hard day's work or on your lunch break, you thirsty, and you want to. Job's complicated, make you go here, make you go there, be mad at your boss, this and that. You get one sip out of hose water, calm you down. Like I said.
Yeah, mad at your boss, drink a lot of that hose water, and go back to the office and piss in his desk drawer.
All right, I don't want to hear it.
That's an idea.
No.
A marketing
That
strategy.
ain't no idea to do that to nobody for no reason. That's enough.
All right, so that's hose water.
I said hose water. You don't say hose water. I say it. You say whatever your sponsor is. I said hose water. I said it. My sponsor. That's it.
Well, if you'd give me a second, I'd say my sponsor, Jackie, and I think you're going to take a shine to this one.
Well,
it's a new sponsor this week, Grace Sayers.
Grace Sayers.
Now, Grace Sayers is a new business. They've just opened up. They have a storefront off the square there. But you can call them, 1-800-GRACE-SAYERS, or you can gracesayers.org. Text Grace Sayers to star 099. However you want to do it, check them out on Facebook. They have a Pinterest page, Grace Sayers. I'm giving you this information. Probably should come at the end because let me tell you what Grace Sayers does. In this day and age, who really wants to say grace anymore?
What?
We've all forgotten how important it is to thank the good Lord up above for whatever we're about to shove down our gullets.
Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And you think God ain't keeping track of every meal you eat and you don't say word one to him about where it come from?
Well,
you think it come from Kroger. Think again. God put that food in Kroger for you to put in your shopping cart.
Well, yeah, he did.
How you think grocery stores work? So when you sit down to a night, let's say it's Thanksgiving time. Thanksgiving time's come around again, and you're going to sit down there. Well, you don't want Granny saying grace. She's losing it.
Oh.
You don't want Daddy saying grace, him mad about this and that. He's going to work what he's mad about into the grace. You don't want your weird cousin who don't believe in God saying it because he'd be like, dear God, I don't even believe in you.
Well, no, I ain't going to have
Bring
that.
everybody down.
Nope.
You don't want your sister going through a divorce, breaking down crying when she's thanking God, questioning everything. And you don't want to say it because, let's be honest, it's boring. It's a minefield. What if you say it the wrong way? Somebody comes up to you, Aunt Helen says, that's how you say grace? Maybe you should come to the Church of Christ and learn what saying grace is all about. Well, there's an easy way to avoid that nightmare, Jackie.
Yeah.
That's contact Grace Sayers.
Grace Sayers.
They will send a professional grace sayer to your event, dinner, lunch, buffet,
Picnics.
There you go.
Well, you're supposed to pray no matter where you are.
Wherever
before
you
eat.
are, let me tell you something. If you're like, oh, my stomach's upset, I need to eat me one of these saltines. Crunch, crunch. Oh, that hit the spot. Guess who you forgot? The Lord God Jesus. You think he's going to be happy about that? No wonder you got an upset stomach. You blasphemous son of a bitch.
All right, enough to watch your mouth.
You got to say grace. Now, Grace Sayers ain't going to come around every time you eat a damn cracker. They're a business. They save up for, if you're going to pay them their full price, which, let me warn you ahead of time, it includes the meal. They have to sit down there and eat with you.
Well, if they're praying over it, if they're doing it, they probably should eat some too.
Now, if you have a dinner party, you want to impress your churchy friends, you can tell them that's your Uncle Carl. I'm going to ask Uncle Carl to say grace because he's probably the best grace sayer there is. And he will give a beautiful grace that will step on no toes and cause no dissension or arguments at the dinner table. Everyone will leave with the renewed faith in God and more easily digested dinner.
Ah.
Yeah, they didn't give me a lot of copy, so I'm kind of making it up as I go along. Grace sayers. They got to eat with you, but the grace will be good.
Now, for the first time, I got a question for you now. Listen, I'm going to ask you some questions. Now, grace sayer sounds like something good when you just come and giving a blessing food. Everybody needs to do that. I see that,
Sure.
And if they're real good at it, I'd like to hear it too. I like a good grace. Yeah, I like feeling good before I start to eat. I do. But listen to this. Now, if you telling somebody that there's somebody else, like that's my uncle so-and-so or whatever, and it's really just somebody from grace sayers, then that's like covert. And that's lying. And God don't like no prayer from a liar unless they're praying to be forgiven.
Grace sayers has let me know that when you engage their professional grace sayers, and it involves some sort of lie, that they will specifically ask for forgiveness for lies at the table. Now, usually you just get into this wondrous bounty and thank you, dear Lord, for this and that. But sometimes you say, and forgive us our trespasses, dear Lord in heaven. Forgive us our lies, the ones that are ongoing. It probably depends on the church you go to.
Something don't seem right about it to me. That's all I'm saying.
Look, they're not saying every time they come over there they're going to be in costume and pretend to be a long-lost member of your family.
There's no reason why.
Say grace
don't it seem more important that you've gone out of the way to hire a professional to say grace, somebody who's going to do it right? I'd be, but here, look who I have. I have a special treat for us. Grace sayers are here to say grace before me. That's like all right.
Look, that is the preferred method of
that's what it should
engaging
be.
their professional grace sayers.
I think that's just fine. But
they say, let's make a production of it. So you brought in a grace sayer. It's like bringing in a clown or a mime or an ice sculpture. It just adds to the festivities. It's this is a class event. I am at something special and beautiful, and somebody spent a wad of cash on it. Because let me tell you something. Grace sayers ain't cheap. You ain't going to say, I got an extra $20. Let's hire grace sayers. No, you got to have at least triple digits, and that's for one of the worst grace sayers. If you want Carl Potts, do you want Carl Potts?
Carl Potts.
Well, he's kind of the best grace sayer, the best professional grace sayer you can engage from grace sayers. I mean, he's the picture when you open it up, and he doesn't own or operate grace sayers, but when they signed him, they're like, okay, grace sayers is really in the saying grace business now, because everybody knows Carl Potts is the best grace.
Well, I like a good prayer. I'd like to hear. If he's good at it, I'd like to hear it.
When they added him to their roster, suddenly it was like, okay, these people are serious. We got to take them seriously, because they got Carl Potts. So that means they're probably number one. If you had grace sayers in your fantasy grace saying pool, you just bounded to the top of the pack because Carl Potts is on your roster. But not everybody, Jackie, last time I checked, this was still America. And some people like to be pretentious and ostentatious. And I don't know which one of those words I'm using right. You take your pick. But this is America, and you have your freedom of how to employ and present your professional grace sayer that you've engaged from grace sayers.
Well, if you're paying for a service, you
can lie about it. You could do that if you hired somebody to make balloon animals. You could say, "This is my cousin Roy." Now, Roy ain't going to talk to God.
He better be talking to God later if he's lying. You ought not lie to trick people like that. That's covert. If you having grace sayers come over to say grace and you put them in a disguise or something, then that ain't right.
I look at that. That's between you and God.
Well,
if you want to hire grace sayers, I tell them, this is my daddy, and your daddy, you ain't seen him in about 30 years because he moved down to Panama City Beach and hooked up with a Hawaiian girl named Kelly, about 15 years younger than him. If you want that Graysayer to be your new daddy for one night, that's your prerogative. That's between you and the Lord. Graysayers don't have no interpretation of the Bible itself.
What?
Graysayers is open to let's say that it's a Thanksgiving in the Holiness House, where everybody speaks tongues and receives the Holy Ghost. Well, that Graysayer's probably going to maybe hop around a little bit.
Well, that's just hiring someone to come over your house and have a fit. No, I want to say grace. That ain't what you give money to somebody to roll around and holler.
Everybody says grace differently.
To each his own. I'm just saying.
Own.
If I want to hear somebody say grace, I come over and say grace. Now, I'm not opposed to that. That's a fine idea.
You're not hiring Graysayers to come in and get yourself right with God. You're hiring Graysayers to say grace.
Yeah.
If you want to hire Graysayers to say grace, and then after dinner's over, you go have an affair with your mistress.
All right.
Kelly, the Hawaiian girl.
All right.
Lately, I've been fantasizing a lot about a Hawaiian girl named Kelly. That's why it keeps coming up.
I don't want to hit.
So if I so much as go to a pharmacy and see a jar of Vaseline, immediately Kelly from Hawaii
All
pops
right,
into my
enough.
brain.
I don't want to hear that. Enough.
So whatever you do, whatever you believe, however you conduct yourself, whatever your relationship to the Heavenly Father is, it ain't none of Graysayers' business. You hire them, they'll come in, they'll say grace. You tell them, I want you to slant it towards a Mormon crowd. They'll do it, no questions asked.
Oh.
They'll work with you for the audience. But it ain't about, they're not going to come in and guide you towards salvation.
It's just to say grace over dinner. I hear you. I get what you're saying, yeah. Which I don't know if that's right. Now that you put it that way, I don't know if that's... It seems deceitful to me.
What is deceitful about it? You're hiring the best Graysayers in the business.
If you're talking to the good Lord, you're talking to the good Lord. And if it's just a lie and they start to pray and the good Lord starts to listen, then the Lord's going to know, too. He knows a difference. Like every time you see somebody pray in a movie, good Lord knows not to listen to Sandra Bullock or whoever's praying in it. He knows that's just for show. He understands that. But if
Are you positive? I'd never thought about that before, but when Gravity came out on video, do you think that there's a chance even that every time somebody put that in the DVD player, God was like, what? Oh.
No.
I fell for it again.
No, he knows a difference. It's God up in heaven knows a damn difference. Good Lord.
And then he starts listening and he gets sucked into the movie every time.
No, he don't
it's
listen.
It's a good movie.
Good Lord ain't got time to sit around and watch Gravities. Look, if you's having Graysayers over and it's Thanksgiving and Lord knows he hears a lot of prayers on Thanksgiving, that's going to take his time up and something going to seem not right about it. He can see through that. He might not know right off the bat, but it's like something about this. Number one, this prayer's real good from this house, which has never happened before, wherever Graysayer's at. So he going to know something fishy, and I just don't think you need to do anything fishy to the good Lord in heaven.
I think you're misunderstanding. That when the Graysayer, the professional Graysayer that you've engaged from Graysayers, starts to say grace, they're not going to say this, hey, it's me, Jerry's Uncle Todd.
Well, that's a lie right there, off the bat.
He's not going to say that. He's going to say Heavenly Father or Dear Lord or Hey God, whatever you've
but
gone over.
But the other person's lying for him.
They're lying to other people. Nobody is lying to God. Nobody is lying to God. That will not stand at Graysayers.
Two lies don't make a right or the truth to the Lord.
I want this Graysayer to say that he's my uncle to God. Tell God that he's my uncle. The Graysayers, look, I don't want your money. That's too much. We're not going to lie to God. We will lie to other human beings.
Well, they better not.
You can lie. We will just sort of not tell
the truth. But the good Lord don't want you lying to other people either.
Well, that's between...
He don't want you lying, period. That's the end of the story.
Between the sinner and God. But when it comes to the grace, let me just say this, because I think you're confusing a lot of people here, Jackie. I just want to say that the grace, the actual grace, is solid. They're thanking you for the food. They're thanking God. They're asking him to forgive us for our sins. They may mention specifically lying if they are enacting some sort of charade at your Thanksgiving. But whatever he says to God, he means, is sincere. He thanks you for God for the turkey and the salad and the cranberries. Easter's coming up, so ham also.
I don't know. It still seems like some sort of trick. I can't figure it out. I can't put my finger on it, but it seems fishy.
Sure, it's because it's my sponsor.
All
you can get on here.
I don't ever say nothing about your sponsor half the time unless it's a prostitute.
Snakeheads, too.
All right, snakeheads. You ain't no snakeheads. It's only original snakeheads. That's it.
You get on here, you're like Little Helens. I don't know what it is.
I know. You don't know what none of mine are. You don't know what a single one is.
Hose Water Energy Plus. What is that? What are they pumping into you?
Oh, you come down the store and get it yourself.
I don't want it.
Well, don't come get it. Don't talk about it then.
I won't. So that's Grace Sayers.
Oh, hell.
Hey, look at there. You see him? Well, open your damn eyes in. It's the old-timey country down-home red state update podcast and them. Coming to you from a bunker underneath Jackie's Market in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And here they are, both of them.
Hey, yeah, this is Jackie Brawls.
Yay!
Well,
You remember me, don't you?
Yeah.
You
I
good
do.
buddy Dunlap?
Yeah, well.
Me and Jackie are back again for another week of hijinks and hilarity and some straight talk about what's going on in this world.
There's a lot going on, I guess. Always is. Something to talk about, I guess.
Did you bring your PTL Club clip of the week?
Well,
Last couple of weeks we've been doing our clip of the week PTL Club.
PTL clip of the week. I
Yeah,
thought
the
you was going to get one.
First, what?
I thought why's I got to get one all the time? I don't know how to work a computer and hit it by myself. I don't know.
I'll be honest. First week we found that PTL Club clip of the week when they talked to Colonel Sanders.
Yeah.
Jim Baker talked to Colonel Sanders. You may want to go back a couple weeks. Listen
It's
to that
good,
one.
yeah,
That's a great clip. Look that up on YouTube.
The Lord pulled the polyp out right with the animal.
Yep. And that's just one of the miracles you hear about when
Yep.
Jim Baker talks to Colonel Sanders. And then the next week we found Tammy Faye Baker, talking to Mickey Rooney.
Mickey Rooney.
And he has a great story about finding an angel busboy.
Totally golden hair.
Totally golden hair. We're like, oh, I guess it's just going to be the PTL Club clip of the week from now on. But I'll be honest with you, I got tired of watching PTL Club pretty quick.
Well, we didn't look at one this week. We usually Jackie come look
I
at
did
this.
not have the desire. I figured you were still into it.
I'd watch it. I don't ever get on there and do nothing on the computer by myself. I mean, if somebody's in the store and got one of the computer screens with them, I'll look at something, yeah. I saw some goat thing
That's
somebody
good.
put on there.
Yeah, just look up something with goats, baby goats. Look up,
Well, it ain't PTL, though.
look up PTL goat. See what comes up on YouTube. Just watch the first thing comes up when you type in PTL goat.
Is there PTL goats?
I don't know. Well, we'll hear from listeners.
I'd look at it.
I tell you, Tammy Faye Baker talking to a goat would be good watching.
If it's got a goat in it, it's hard to ruin it no matter what you
If
put
y'all
with
find
it.
a goat on the PTL Club, please send that to us immediately. Stop whatever you're doing.
Well,
Pull over and...
If somebody sends it, then that's definitely, I'd say, the PTL clip
that
of
would
this
be
week.
the PTL Club clip of the week.
Yeah. Let's hope it's out there.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that.
I'd
so
like to
y'all
see
get
that
on
too,
that.
yeah.
And otherwise, we got nothing for you. No clip of the week.
Well, I don't know how to work
There's only so much of that. I think really we limited ourselves when we said PTL Club clip of the week.
Well, there's a lot of PTL before things, went sour.
Yeah,
It
but
was a lot of good years.
How much of that can you watch?
Man, I don't.
They got some Christmas specials on there. One of them probably be good if you can't find a goat.
A little
good
goat come out in a reindeer outfit. They dress the goats up like pulling Santa Claus.
Well, this is why you never wrote for the PTL Club Christmas extravaganza, because everything would be goat dresses reindeer, goat dresses Santa Claus.
Well, that's funny. That's good. That's
It is
Christmas.
funny. It is
That's
good.
all good Christmas. I'd like to see that.
But it'd be every year. You'd be like, "What? Can we get
I
the
know.
goats back?
No,
Those
that's
goats are
what-
Always gold.
You
Let's
be
get the
waiting
goats
for,
back.
waiting to see it all year long. I can't wait till Christmas comes and go dress up like Santa Claus. Everybody won't see that.
Well,
Ain't
yeah.
no reason. Don't ruin a good thing.
No, I mean, when you say it like that, I can see the appeal. I'm
Yeah.
just saying. Yeah,
Santa Claus the same as it is. Kids get excited every year for Santa Claus. They
That's
don't have
true.
to jazz Santa Claus up besides trying to kill him. Other than that, Santa Claus the same. Or change his color or whatever else.
Well, who's trying to kill Santa Claus?
The liberals trying to kill Christmas.
Oh, Christmas, yeah.
You kill Christmas, I'm sure Santa Claus next to go. I don't know what you'd do with Santa Claus without Christmas. Because without Christmas, Santa Claus, I'll say it right now, dumb as hell. Don't make a bit of sense.
She's like a weird.
By itself, I'm just saying by itself, I love Santa Claus. Don't take that the wrong way.
But if you
But
erase Christmas,
It just said some man getting in your chimney with rain. I mean, I don't.
okay, yeah, kids sitting on a weirdly dressed biker's lap at the mall.
No, sir.
Creepy.
By itself, without Christmas, that I don't like it.
But with Christmas, Santa Claus is awesome.
Yeah. Well, yes, it's Christmas. Yeah.
Have you been watching Fox News lately? Are they saying? Have they been saying whether or not there's a war on Easter? Easter's
I hadn't seen
coming
it
up.
yet. Easter coming up. They ain't as worried about Easter as is Christmas, which
Why,
they should
why
be.
not? I mean, because Sarah Palin put out that book about Christmas, War on Christmas. I wonder if she had an Easter book out.
I'd read her Easter book. I'd like to read it. I'm sure somebody out there if they're trying to get rid of Christmas, I don't see. That's how it works. Once you take out Christmas, the rest of them just fall just like a deck of house of cards, as they say.
Oh, so Christmas is
That's the big one right there. If you get rid of Christmas, Easter ain't nothing. Just fall right, all of it. And once it's like taking out the head, Take out Christmas, the rest of it's just going to die off.
So Christmas is the head of the holidays.
Well, yes, sir. What else would be?
Well, I just hope they're not trying to, sneak attack, come around the back door on Easter and get to it that way.
Well, they ain't taking Easter away from me.
What are you going to do to celebrate Easter?
I don't really celebrate Easter. Easter to me is already kind of offensive anyway. You paint up little eggs like whore ladies, this and that, and run around and try to find. I mean, I just don't think that's not the true message of the holiday. Jesus come back and walk with the living on Easter. He arose. Ain't got nothing to do with sitting around drawing on eggs, as far as I'm concerned.
You'd be you might be a good preacher, as far as being on point goes, but you would be no fun.
Well, it all ain't always about fun.
That's what people who are no fun say.
Well,
You try to tell that to a 5-year-old kid when you knock an Easter egg out of his hand, tell him he's sinning.
I'm not saying to do that to nobody. It is what it is. I just have my personal view on it. Kids want to have a good time no matter what. I understand that. I understand it. Sometimes you got to make up funny stuff to get kids to even pay attention to anything these days.
Well, that's lying, isn't it? I mean, ain't you lying to kids? Easter's about eggs, and also
That's
about
what
come over here and let me tell you this other story about Jesus.
Yeah.
We give him an egg to lure
It ain't
him.
so much a lie. It's just pay attention, look over here, and then, oh, by the way, tell them the rest of the story. Tell them the real story, what it is. That old Paul Harvey, as you say, or the rest of the story. That's what Easter, I mean, yeah.
Do you think Paul Harvey remembered all them stories and he'd be like at dinner and somebody be talking about, I don't know, the Panama Canal, and he'd say, well, that reminds me of an interesting story, and he'd go through some roundabout rigmarole, and then he'd say, now you know the rest of the story, and everybody'd stand up and clap for him.
I'm sure it had to happen
Buy
once,
his
twice
dinner.
at least. I don't know if every night. Had to happen at some point in time. He deserves applause. He can tell a story better than anybody. I like his story as much as,
Always with a twist.
yeah.
Bring it back around.
There's only a couple of people I like that tell stories, and one of them you ain't supposed to listen to anymore.
I hate to ask this, Jackie, but who would that be?
Well, I ain't going to say it.
Who is it? Who would it be? Who could it possibly be?
It ain't. I'm gonna get called a racist and everything else.
Were you Bill Cosby? Hopefully,
Bill Cosby. You can like Bill Cosby. Ain't nothing wrong
he tells
with it.
good stories about his brother and
Now look,
chocolate cake.
It's because of that Walt Disney movie that this got run down. Now let me explain to it. I used to listen to it on the radio, not the movie.
What was on the Uncle Remus Hour? Was on the radio.
Uncle Remus Radio Mysteries.
What kind of
It
mysteries?
didn't have nothing to do with anybody being black.
Right, because nobody on that show was black.
I don't think so. But when you say Uncle Remus, people just go to that Walt Disney thing where they had slaves, everything else, whatever it was. I didn't watch it no how. But
obviously
the Uncle Remus that I used to listen to was Uncle Remus Mystery Hour on the radio. And it just had good stories, all it was. I don't know if anybody black, white, whatever color it were. It doesn't make any difference to me. It was just good stories. Didn't have no rabbits in it. Didn't have none of that stuff.
he solved murders.
It was a different story. He just told a story. It was a different story every week.
He was like the crypt keeper.
Crypt keeper.
And he would introduce a story, and then somebody else was like the private detective or whatever was happening.
Yeah, he would. Yeah, sometimes he would talk to him.
In the middle of the story?
Well, yeah, just say, let's see what's going on. And he'd ask the detective, he'd ask him, what clues have you got so far? And he'd tell him. Then basically he'd say, well, go on about your business.
Wow. Did he ever, as this omniscient narrator, did he ever give the detective any clues? Maybe. Like, why don't you check behind that lamppost? You might find.
He might have done that once or twice. I can't.
Like, if the detective really hit a wall, Uncle Remus might jump in and save the day.
Well, I think a couple of times, he points in the right direction or something. Some of the detectives in the stories were good, some weren't so good. He'd have to help out. It's been years since I listened to it. You can't hear it no more, and it's just because of the name. It ain't got nothing to do with the other thing. But those were the best mystery stories I ever heard in my life. Used to listen to them all the time. Don't know where you get them now. Don't know how you find that.
Yeah, I don't know either. I'd probably like if you go to a flea market, you can find a box of old-time radio shows. Unless somebody's combed through them and thrown out the racist ones. You might find one in one of those. Which, let's be honest, about half of them.
The point I make, if they threw out the Uncle Remus Mystery Hours, it wasn't racist. He wasn't black. He just had the same name is all it was.
He wasn't. So it wasn't a white guy pretending to be black. It was just a white guy being white.
I never thought twice about him being a white guy or a black guy. He sounded white to me. I could have been wrong. I don't know. I was a little boy.
What does white sound like to you, Jackie?
Oh, hell, don't start. See, I knew it. You can't say anything you like anymore. Don't even start with me.
So, Paul Harvey and Uncle Remus of radio's golden ages, Uncle Remus Mystery Hour.
You can't just say Uncle Remus by itself.
Right. You don't like the Brer Rabbit stories.
I don't like that all cartoon stuff, and whether it's racist or whatever it is, I don't like it no how. Don't want to have nothing to do with that. This is Uncle Remus Mystery Hours from an old radio show. Same name, nothing else. Wasn't a slave, wasn't black as far as I know. Didn't have nothing to do with any of that stuff. Told mystery stories, didn't tell little tales, whatever it was. I don't know nothing about it. The other one.
Well, maybe we should move on to another topic.
I didn't want to bring it up, but you can't tell the truth. Can't talk about what you like, what you don't like, just being misconstrued. And I don't want to be misconstrued. Now, get me right. It's not that I'm mad about it. I don't understand how to talk in this world no more. I don't know how to do it without making somebody mad. You can't do it.
Bush paintings.
Huh?
Bush paintings at the...
Oh, at the library, yeah.
Talk about somebody who can't talk without making people mad. Old George W. Bush.
There you go, yep.
He opened his mouth and liberals would just be like, oh,
Everything.
I can't believe this is our president.
That's all you heard the whole time.
He can't even string two words together.
Now, he may not be able to string two words together, but he kept us safe.
That's my liberal voice.
That's pretty good, yeah. That's what it sounds like right there, yeah.
Oh, my God, is this our president?
Yep.
He did keep us safe, Jackie, and he kept us Iraq safe.
Well, he said, yeah.
You know, let's not say safe. Let's say free.
Well, yeah, freedom, you know.
There's a price
America's
to be paid.
free, and there's certainly it ain't necessarily safe here.
No. You see how people drive?
I know.
Like maniacs. But
Iraq, I don't know how they drive in Iraq, but
like
they got
maniacs.
Yeah, probably, yeah. I'd like to see his paintings, though.
I would too. I wonder if he's got any of Iraqis in there. Or it's world leaders on display right now at the George W. Bush Museum. So probably no Iraqis.
No, yeah.
He doesn't like to. Why look back? Look forward. As soon as he got out of office, he said, why am I going to look back? I'm not the president anymore. I'm a painter. I'm an artist.
I like his paintings, what I seen of him. I want to go Bush Library anyway.
I would love to go. Listen, Bush Library, if you're listening to this podcast, we would love to come and do a live podcast from your library.
Yeah, I'd do that anytime. Y'all
I don't know. We might have to talk real quiet in the library.
Well, yeah, you don't want to be loud. I whisper, yeah.
People in there trying to read and study or whatever.
I'd love to go where. I'd love to go Bush Library. But see, paintings do everything. Cafeteria's got to be good. The food they serve there's going to be good. Everything about that place got to be good.
The grounds, probably best kept grounds of any library in the world.
No brush laying around on those grounds at all. No, sir.
He's out there edging the sidewalks, getting them. If he come to see his library and there was like a stray dandelion, guess what? Out come the shears, and he's over there like pruning and clipping and weeding, making them grounds look good.
Yeah.
He doesn't just do big projects where you got to get the bush hog out. He's down there with the fine-tuning it.
He knows what he's doing. He knows how to do it, yeah.
You got a picture of Putin in there.
Oh, Putin, yeah.
I bet you can look right through to his soul.
Look in the painting and see it, yeah.
Look at that painting's eyes and see it's painting soul.
Yeah. If Bush painted it, yeah. He'd paint it like how he saw it, wouldn't he?
And that's, you know what's good about Bush? I don't know what other world leaders he's got in there. Probably a bunch of pussies. But
hey,
you know that the main attraction is going to be a patriotic, all-American, freedom-loving patriot American like Vladimir Putin. Probably one of the strongest leaders in this world today, who says what he means and he means what he says.
Well, yeah, compared to Obama, yeah.
I mean, I don't want to. I hate to get into this cult of liberals accuse us of salivating over Putin. Oh, we all got a crush on Putin.
Yeah.
Conservatives love Putin because he's Obama's enemy. But sometimes you just want a strong, shirtless man to take control of the situation.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just want someone powerful to take you by the hand and lead you into the bedroom and say, this is how it's going to be. No, I mean, figuratively.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I mean, sometimes you just want a look into somebody's eyes and see their soul, and also that, you may be in a little bit of trouble.
Well,
but the honesty, it's honesty and leadership and power.
Ain't no honesty to Obama. I say that right now. No, sir.
And I'll bet you all that comes across in Bush's painting of Putin.
Yeah.
You got to see it in person, though. I think that's one of them things you got to take in person.
Well, certain paintings you walk around the room. Now, I don't go see paintings that much. Now, at the hospital, they'll have something in the foyer when I got to take
that's where I see most of my paintings is at the hospital.
Hospital, there's good paintings in there. Now, I know about paintings and stuff like that, but I don't ever go to no museum look at no paintings.
No, they got good paintings at the hospital. Why you need to go to the museum?
That's right, but a good painting at the hospital, you got to walk everywhere around that waiting room to see it just right sometimes.
Especially with the lighting they got in there. It's not the best lighting. Let me tell you, the Murfreesboro City Hospital here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, is pretty well known for its art.
It's kind of nice. The waiting room, and I'm talking about not the waiting room to get in, that's down in the bottom. I'm talking about every time my wife has trouble and they got an ambulance go, and I got to sit in the waiting room while they're working on her. The paintings in there, I spent many hours looking at all the paintings in there in that waiting room, and there's some nice ones, yeah. There's one of a barn and grass.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I know that one, barn and grass.
A moose.
Mm-hmm. From the Saskatchewan collection.
I don't. Is that what it is? Yeah. There's moose and an Indian.
Mm-hmm.
There's some other two. Those are ones those are my favorites.
Those are the famous. They call that the trilogy.
Those are my favorite particular paintings.
Indian was painted by a real Indian.
Was it? I didn't know.
Most is from the Saskatchewan collection by a famous Canadian artist who only paints moose.
Yeah.
And the barn and grass is by a local artist who only paints barns and grass.
Oh, yeah. Well.
And then one day, because of their renown from being in the Murfreesboro City Hospital, Moose Lady and Barn and Grass Man, on April Fool's Day one year, they swapped, and Barn and Grass Man painted a moose, and Moose Lady painted Barn and Grass. Good joke.
Yeah.
But it sucked. They burned them. They said they didn't even want anybody to see.
Well, they didn't have them in. They didn't leave them in there.
Yeah, and then Barn and Grass Man committed suicide. So the value went up of the Murfreesboro City Hospital. That's why if you go in Murfreesboro City Hospital, security is usually stationed real close to Barn and Grass.
I remember going to his funeral.
They had it in a barn.
Yeah.
And then I guess if you want to follow that through, they buried him under some grass. But I mean,
that goes without saying.
Yeah, it's taking it too far. But they had the funeral in the barn that was his main model, the barn he had out back, surrounded by beautiful grass. And
they had numbers on them, didn't they? Because I didn't know it was barn and grass. The one that's in the waiting room is got a number on it.
Oh, yeah, it's number 17 of 5,000.
That's what the name I got confused, because I always just number 7. Yeah, barn and grass number. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, number 17, 5. But I think the rest of them are in Days Inns around the country.
Yeah.
But barn and grass number 17 is at the Murfreesboro City Hospital. And people say it's somehow there's a quality to it that's not quite there in the other 4,999. But I guess that's for you to judge next time you're in Murfreesboro and get sick.
Or just vacationing in Days Inn, too.
People come to it's like people go to the Murfreesboro Museum just to buy a bag of popcorn, because that popcorn is the best popcorn you ever going to put in your mouth. I don't know what they do to it, but it is something special. And people go to the Murfreesboro City Hospital just to check out the art. If you do get to come through Murfreesboro, one, get the popcorn first.
Popcorn's the best thing.
If that's
get that
all
first.
you can do, if that's all you have time
The only
for.
thing is just go. You learn a little bit about Murfreesboro if you want to. There's some pictures in there and this and that. Poster, walk around. Yeah, but the main thing is go out. It's a little popcorn thing over in the corner. Just walk up there, free popcorn. Help yourself. But you leave donation. We got to leave.
Oh, yeah, suggested donation.
Donation, but,
But how many times have you been in the hospital waiting room and you've seen somebody come in there with a bag of popcorn? You go, well, they're doing the rounds.
I've probably seen that a few times, yeah.
Here's another tourist.
Well, so one time it was, but somebody just got sick in the museum.
Yeah, and then not from the popcorn.
No, he would still be eating it.
If anything, your popcorn probably made him feel better. Like, oh, it hurts, but this is delicious. But if you get to the Murfreesboro City Hospital, there's other good paintings around, but you want to see the trilogy. You want to see Indian, Moose, Barn, and Grass.
Yeah.
So next time you're here, go check those out and get you some popcorn. And
I hope you don't get sick or anything. A loved one is ill, and there it is. Listen.
You hear that siren?
Yep. I heard it. There they go.
Going over to Longhornz dance parlor.
Yeah.
Somebody must have gotten a fight over a lady, or two ladies got in a fight over a man. Or possibly, it could have been gay night.
They have gay night over there now?
They're progressive at Longhornz dance parlor. What do you think? It's
I did say it's good or bad and trying to put words in my mouth. I just didn't know they had it.
Listen, you Uncle Remus listeners may think gay night is the worst. Oh, here's the end of the world.
Hey.
Where are gay people supposed to dance if they don't go to Longhornz dance parlor?
Anything wrong with it.
Where are gay people supposed to dance if they can't go to Longhornz dance parlor?
Anything. I didn't know they had it. Didn't seem like it'd be a place to have it.
Let everybody dance in the back of the bus. That's good enough for them.
I don't doubt gay people drinking act like idiots like anybody would.
That's exactly right, Jackie.
Well,
because
everybody the same.
We're all human beings.
Well,
we are all awful.
If we're all human beings, we ought to act like human beings and not have the police called every 5 minutes.
Well, our best goes out to whoever got hurt in a fight over at Longhornz dance parlor.
I hope nobody, but
gay, straight, man, woman. But if you wind up at Murfreesboro City Hospital, take a chance to look at. I don't know how many times I've been coming down from something, picked up, drunk, bleeding, and they take me to the hospital in handcuffs, and I get to look at that Indian painted by a real Indian, or that moose from the Saskatchewan collection, or the damn Barn and Grass from deceased Murfreesboro Barn and Grass painter. We should really know his name. I mean, we were at his funeral. I don't know why. Name just escapes me. I just knew
they just somebody said, he painted all them
barns and grasses.
Yeah. Numbered them.
But it just makes me feel better. I'll be like, well, I'm gonna get some haphazard stitches thrown into me, and I'm gonna spend the night in the drunk tank. But art is it replenishes the soul, even at your worst moments.
That's why George Bush paints.
He knows.
Yeah.
Speaking of being at the hospital.
Yeah. Wow.
There's a news segue. Speaking of being at the hospital,
hey.
I guess some of you freeloaders out there are going to be trying to use your Obamacare.
Oh,
thanks for ruining the country. They say they got 7 million of them, Jackie. 7 million people signed
Well,
up
now
for
they got a
Obamacare.
reason to. They go look at the paintings. They're like, I get a free ambulance ride there. You just give them an excuse to.
So you think people are... You say, well, Obama gave me car service to the hospital so I can take my tour of the art on display and do other meaningless activities.
You don't think people be using ambulances like taxis. You wait and see. I feel better now. Let me off at Big Lots. They will.
7 million don't sound right either. That sounds high. I think a lot of people are accusing. I know this may be hard for you to believe, Jackie, so you may want to steady yourself, put both hands on the side of your chair there, but a lot of people are accusing Obama of lying.
What?
Lying about the numbers.
Oh, now.
Fuzzy numbers. They're all fuzzy, Jackie.
He lied. How many times he gonna lie about the same thing? Anytime he opens up his mouth about Obamacare, we know what it is.
A lie.
And Gray Sayers ain't got nothing to worry about compared to that man.
Nope.
Say it right now.
No, if Gray Sayers and Obama get to heaven at the same time, St. Peter will be like, Gray Sayers, you can come on. Like, normally I would deal with you, but I'm going to spend some time with the gentleman behind you, so just come on in. I ain't got time to waste on no amateurs.
Lie after lie.
Do you think he would lie? He wouldn't lie. He wouldn't have as much to lie about if it wasn't for Obamacare. It's like you buy a new car, like a fancy sports car, and you tell your wife, "Oh, I won that $100,000 in the Tennessee State Lottery." She's like, "Well, you didn't tell me about it." "Oh, well, you remember when I hit my head? It caused selective amnesia." Like, I didn't know you hit your head. "Oh, did I not tell you about when I went down to Panama City Beach and I was with that girl Kelly and a coconut fell on my head?" Like, you didn't tell me about who's Kelly? There's not coconuts in. And then you're like, "Oh, I'm getting dizzy," and you fall down. And you're like, "Oh, I guess my cancer's back."
Why?
And she's like, "Are you a meth dealer?" And you're like, did I not tell you about, look, we're going to launder this money through the car wash." Like, "What car wash?" "Well, I bought the one I used to work at."
Huh.
"I'd like to introduce you to Jesse." "What? Who's Jesse?" Just lie after lie.
Yeah.
But if you never bought the car in the first place or never introduced Obamacare to America, you wouldn't have so much cause to lie.
Well, he must like to lie because he sure did introduce Obamacare.
He likes drama, I guess. Hey, you know what? I guess he just likes drama because he could have been elected president and just gone along with everything the Republicans wanted. Nice and easy. Good
Sure.
8 years.
Sure.
But no, he comes in there, he's just got to be causing drama. Obamacare this, Obamacare that.
Wouldn't let up.
Just go with the flow, man.
It's too late now.
Exhausting. It's one of those friends just exhausted, just always calling you up. "Oh, how you doing, Obama?" You pick up before you even know who it is. Like, shit, now I got to talk to Obama. "Hey, Obama, what's up?" "Oh, I don't know, just Obamacare, the website's not working." And just always just drawn. Like, I got stuff in my own life to deal with. I don't need to hear every little thing that's going wrong. You're the one introduced Obamacare.
Yeah.
Like, just repeal it or whatever you need to do. I don't need to hear. And the Republicans are saying this and that. And I know.
Can't quit talking about
Whose
it.
fault is this? You did it. It's a done deal. They're not going to repeal it. Okay.
Enough. Just
I've
shut the
heard
hell up.
the story. It's just exhausting. It's just one of them friends you just got to cut loose. Just block him from your Facebook because he will just take your life essence out of you.
Yeah. Of course, if he does that, you just call the ambulance.
Can you take me to the hospital? But can you go by Carmike Cinemas? Because I'm going to try to make the 315 Captain America in case I get better. Just take the long way by the movies, and then I'll see how I feel. You know what? I feel great.
Just let me out of here.
I've got a date with the Winter Soldier.
Yep. Everybody's going to be doing it. You wait and see. You just wait and see.
Supreme Court, though.
Yeah.
New segue. Supreme Court is doing a thing where they are saying that money is okay for campaign contributions, no limits. They struck down total limits on campaign contributions.
Well, yeah.
Basically, if you're rich, they say your money is your freedom of speech. You can give it to whoever you want to.
It is my money. I work hard for my money. I should be able to do whatever the hell I want with my money. I give my money to whoever the hell I want to and as much of it as I want to.
If I want to give $5 million every 6 weeks to a congressman, no strings attached, I should be able to do that.
Yeah. And it's up to you to make a decision which congressman is. I ain't going to send $5 million to a congressman with no damn sense. You just send all that money to the good ones.
Freedom of speech.
That's it. Right there.
I don't know that you could actually send $5 million to a congressman. I think that may be We may be taking. There may
No,
still
you
be-
can do it now.
Can you do it now?
That's what they just said, isn't
I
it?
was thinking there may be some. Okay, sure, yeah, you
Yeah,
can do that.
send it. If you got that kind of money and you want to blow it that way, if you want to send all your money to a politician,
Now,
by
I
all
don't think
means.
you. I think you can give him $5 million, but I don't think you can say, Congressman, now you do my bidding. Now you are. I
No,
own
you can't do that. I said you got to send it to a congressman with some sense. You know, if you send it to a congressman that ain't got no sense, he'll sit there and, flush it down the toilet bowl on something crazy.
I'd say if you've got $5 million and you own a Subway and somebody's going to open up a damn Schlotsky's next to you, you can call that congressman up and he's going to answer probably during the first ring. And you're going to say, they're trying to put a Schlotsky's in next to me. What are you going to do about that? And he'll say, well, I'll look into it. But then he'll hang up and he'll be like, we need to have the franchisee of this Schlotsky's assassinated.
What? Assassinate?
If that's what
No.
it comes to. He may not start there,
No.
but he's going to make sure that no Schlotsky's comes next to your Subway. Subway owners. If you're a Subway owner and you have $5 million to give every 6 weeks to a congressman, then I am obviously in the wrong business.
Well,
The business of what? Podcasting, I guess?
ain't no money in this.
Damn, Subway people got mad money.
I guess so.
Jim Cramer. Just mad stacks, Jackie.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the life of a Subway franchisee? Gold swimming pools. If I owned a Subway in my mansion down the main hallway, I would just have hookers lined up.
All right. I'm not going to hear anything. Don't.
Just up against the wall. Like you
I
stand
don't want
here
enough. I'm
I
not
want
going to listen
20.
to this.
on standby
Enough.
like grandfather clocks. I don't want them to say anything, but if I need to look at the time or have sex with a hooker, I know that they're there.
All right, enough.
That's the life of a Subway franchisee,
I don't want to hear it.
I'm assuming.
If that's how you live, I don't want to have nothing to do with it.
Freedom of speech. Supreme Court said it's okay. I think. I might be mixing things up. David Letterman's retiring, Jackie. Boy,
Yeah.
we're getting through all the news this week.
Well, good.
What time are we at? Hey, today we're going to do a new segment where we check the time on the podcast we're recording. 57 minutes in, and we're at our last news item we hastily scrawled on this napkin. David Letterman's retiring.
Well,
Jackie.
good.
It's changing the late night landscape.
I don't look at no late night no how. I don't sit up at, I ain't that up at late to watch none of them. I don't like any of them. Don't make a damn bit of difference to me whether he's there or not.
You don't like David Letterman?
I know I ain't partial to him, no. I used to watch old Johnny Carson, but even he was, they all seem just like a smart alecks. They sit up late to watch a smart aleck, all of them. I like
Well, they tell jokes. It's their job.
Well, no. Now, I watch now during the day. See, I ain't up that late. In the afternoons, Ellen comes on. Now, Ellen can tell joke, be funny, dance around, all that stuff.
When did you get this major crush on Ellen?
I
This
ain't
is
got
2
no,
weeks in
it's
a row.
on the TV. I'm trying to tell the damn difference. She tells joke, but she ain't like, I'm smarting you and I'm missing that. She ain't got that kind of attitude. Well, the rest of them at nighttime, all of them do. Just smarmy, whatever. I don't know. Look two-faced to me.
So, everybody's smart aleck two-face.
On talk shows at night trying to be funny, cute, like, look at me, whatever. I don't want to sit through that. I'm in bed by then. They don't know how. Ellen's nice. She's sitting on the couch. Ain't got no big desk in front of her. Trying to,
You do hate desks. You always hate desks. You think desk is just somebody trying to look smart.
Well, I got so much stuff stacked up in my office, I just use a box. I don't need to have no fancy desk. I wouldn't have no room for one in there anyhow.
He always said, if I got to write out some bills or do some paperwork, I'm not too good for a box.
Box work fine with me. My office ain't full. Well, the hell down here is full of boxes. There ain't nothing in here but boxes of this. Just receipts, different things from over the years, various menus I've had from this establishment over the years. But I just use top of a box to sign anything, a bill, whatever else I need to do. I don't need no fancy desk. And neither does Ellen. Ellen don't need one. See, now, nice comfy chair, relaxed, helps you relax. You know, rest of them's like you going to a job interview for a butthole. I ain't gonna sit up and watch that all night.
You really love Ellen. And you hate desks.
I don't love her. I like to watch it when it's on.
You know who wasn't a smart aleck on his TV show was old Ralph Emery.
Ralph Emery had a good show. Now, a big part of that is old Shotgun Red with him.
Yeah, Shotgun Red. Now, he was a little smart aleck. He always trying to
But he's funny and nice about it. He ain't like Ed McMahon's idiot. Just sit there drunk and giggle or whatever it is. And then one on Letterman, crazy looking, sound crazy, don't make no sense. I like Doc Severinsen, but they didn't talk to him that much.
So Shotgun Red is your favorite of all the sidekicks.
Well, he's funny and fun to look, puppet, funny to look at, fun to listen to. Tells funny stories. He just drive old Ralph Emery crazy and back and forth. That's one of the best comedy partners as good as any of them. Abbott and Costello, all of them. I like old
Ralph Emery and Shotgun Red.
They're as good as anybody.
It's good as Abbott and Costello or Laurel and Hardy.
Yeah, Laurel and Hardy, better than them, yeah.
You didn't like Laurel and Hardy?
Well, they didn't talk or nothing. They just...
They did. They say
some of the later ones they did, but even by then, they just... If they foreign, have accents, that's that.
Oh, a clip of the week. I think I don't know if this is on YouTube, but here's a good clip of the week. If you can't find PTL goats... Or you can't find, what was the other thing we wanted them to look at?
I think just goats. I don't know.
Just look up goats. If you can't find that, see if you can find, I think there's a clip of Ralph Emery in Shotgun Red during like the last week of Ralph Emery's show or last night. Don't they sing like, friendship?
Yeah.
Friendship.
Yeah, that's not PTL, but that's just
Ralph Emery clip of the week.
Yeah, that'll
Go
be it
on
then.
there, look up Shotgun Red.
Still look for PTL goals because I don't know if that's out there. I'd
your
like to see
first
that.
task.
And then
second, Shotgun Red and Ralph Emery singing a farewell duet. I think it was Friendship. I forget the actual
they were
song.
Good, yeah.
They were good. They didn't do enough songs together.
Now, I know he ain't a puppet or nothing, but you remember old Dan Miller.
I do remember.
Pat Sajak, Dan Miller, pretty good.
Dan Miller was a long-time Nashville news anchor.
Well, Pat Sajak come from here, too, now.
Channel 4, and Pat Sajak got his show.
And we were excited, made the big time. It was something to see, old Pat Sajak and Dan Miller, and it didn't catch on at the time.
No, it did not. It was kind of the opposite of catching on. It catched off. But then David Letterman come along and just made everybody forget about old Dan Miller, and he had to come back to Nashville. But we loved him. We treated him like a god, I'd say.
He went further than a lot of people ever go, so yeah.
He's since passed away.
He's no longer with us, bless us.
We love Dan Miller.
Yeah.
So we're not going to run him down on this podcast, no matter what you want. You want somebody to run somebody down, maybe you need to go watch Craig Ferguson or something like that.
Yeah.
One of these smart alecks.
I can't understand half a word he says, but I guarantee you half of it's running somebody down. I just seen clips of that, man. I don't sit up late. I ain't up that late. Up my age, I don't stay up.
What time you go to bed, would you say?
9 o'clock, something like that, 9:30 sometime.
But your wife, she still stays up late.
Yeah, she wants to. She in that chair. She go sleep, wake up, don't make no difference.
So that's David Letterman.
Yeah, I ain't going to miss him. I don't watch it no how, so don't make no difference to me.
Now we're going to segue to the end of the show.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's the end of the show, everybody. We got through all the things we wanted to talk about. Talked about art.
Yeah.
That are great sponsors, Hosewater and Grace Sayers.
Yeah.
We even came up with a clip of the week. All in all, could have been worse.
Oh, yeah, it could have been a lot worse, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
I mean, I thought it was going to go off the rails when you started talking about Uncle Remus. But,
I told you I didn't want to say it. I told you I didn't want to say it.
You know, I like this. This should be a new segment, too. Clip of the week, new segue, and looking back on what we just did. That'd be a segment. Let's look back on what we just did, and we kind of go back over the podcast and see where we were stronger, maybe where we failed our listeners. I'd say probably when you were talking about Uncle Remus, people got nervous.
It was an Uncle Remus Mystery Hour. It wasn't the one everybody knows.
Well, I think you pulled it out in the end, but at first, I think people were probably getting a little uncomfortable.
Well, I didn't mean to do that.
Then we had the siren for going to Longhornz dancing parlor.
Well, you got no control over that.
And then we talked about art and all the different painters, and we talked about Obama's lies and the Supreme Court striking a blow for freedom of speech. And Jackie hates all the buttholes on late night TV, but he's in love with Ellen DeGeneres.
I ain't in love with her. I like watching it in the afternoon.
And
different things.
We would love to go to the Bush Library and look at the Bush paintings and do a live podcast where all we would do is plug the Bush Library, talk about how great it is, and the ultimate vacation destination after you've seen the Murfreesboro Museum and its tasty, tasty popcorn, and the Trilogy of Art in Murfreesboro City Hospital, which is Indian, by an actual Indian, Moose from the Saskatchewan collection, lady, Canadian painter, and Barn and Grass by unknown.
Thank you for listening. Get y'all some hose water. One sip keeps it simple.
And get some grace sayers, saying grace even if they're lying a little bit about it.
Well, I don't know about that.
But they don't have to lie.
All right.
And get on iTunes and then we should come up with a new segment where we figure out how to properly end a podcast. Get on iTunes and rate and review and star it, and on Stitcher Radio, anywhere you find it, just poke around, nose around a little bit, say, is there a way we can help Jackie and Dunlap with a positive review, or maybe clicking 5 stars or something like that? Give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down. We put all these up on YouTube so you can listen to things on YouTube. It seems weird, but go for it. Get it on iTunes, wherever podcasts are sold.
Sold?
And given away for free.
Yeah.
And Stitcher Radio is a thing where they have podcasts, and
I don't know what any of that is.
I guess that's it.
Yeah.
We can wrap it up now.
Are we done?
Should I go over everything again?
No, hell no.
Okay, we're done. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Yeah, see ya.